how are you doing? Yesterday in Nara Prefecture in Japan, a 25-year-old man got arrested for inflicting a serious injury to his 1-year-old daughter, which will take 3 months to heal. And according to police, he was under suspicion of fracturing his daughter's left thigh bone by kicking her legs mercilessly. And after taking his daughter to a hospital, he initially explained to a hospital that his daughter's injury was caused by falling off the bed while she was sleeping at home. But the hospital noticed an abnormality in his explanation, so it reported to a child consultation center and a police station as well. And he came under investigation by police and explained that he had been frustrated about daughter's persistent crying, and he impatiently released his anger on his daughter in the form of violence. So recently I had so many chances to see this kind of news on the internet news media, like young parents abuse their unresisting little children. And it is not an unusual case that children become critical condition and some are dead in the worst case because of parents' fierce violence in Japan. So child abuse problems are piling up in Japan as well as other countries are. On the other hand, I feel deep sympathy for people who take care of children, especially children who are under the age before developing their personality. So children, especially babies, behave more instinctively than pets like dogs or cats, right? I know how much such children's instinctive behavior affect people who take care of them. So reasonable persuasion and reasonable admonishment and consolation to little children mostly comes to nothing no matter how much affection you have to treat children. So because little children's driving force is mostly changeable instinctive feeling and emotion. So once they subordinately think something is unpleasant, no matter how much you make effort to try to improve their mood, in various approaches, they keep crying unreasonably without considering the circumstance around them. So when people realize that their reasonable persuasion is beyond the compass of someone's instinctive willful behavior, they impatiently, take emotional measure to try to overpower someone to control, even if someone is a little kid. So this is people's trait. This is human beings' trait, right? So, child rearing needs you to have as big, generous heart as you have no hesitation to step away from the lead role of your life and devote your everything to children. And we should be prepared for the fact that your reasonable treatment to children from your affection is not understood by children in many cases. So child rearing is one of the big projects that people confront so many troubles and difficulties. But instead, there's so many chances to grow up through this project. So this is the supreme examination of human beings to test how you can treat and raise an instinctive baby altruistically with your bottomless deep affection and generosity no matter how unreasonable troubles you confront, right? At the time you give a birth to a baby, you must give up the lead role of your life to your baby unconditionally, and you support and raise your baby as the lead role of your life perfectly. If you think you feel like prioritizing your own things over child rearing, you are not still entitled to give a birth to a baby, I think. So if bringing up child, you should have no mental leeway to think about your own things preferentially, I think. So if you make a baby, you should ask yourself how much you are prepared mentally when you have a children, right? And you ask yourself, you're really sure that you're ready to devote your life to children. And child rearing is a big human project with huge responsibility. And if you are not prepared for child rearing because you can't say strongly yes to these questions, I think you should postpone making a child. But you have to make effort to polish your humanity until you have great generosity to others without expecting anything in return. So do not despise child rearing and do not give birth to children accidentally after you sleep with someone without contraception. So at least you are aware that you are immature. You shouldn't make a child. This is my opinion.